Hey guys, it's Sam here today, and today we are getting ready. I am going out to a Queen's brunch, and I'm really excited. I have a bunch of products here that are like tried and true that I really trust because I need to look good today. And I also picked up the Fenty Hella Thick mascara. So we will be trying this out today. That's pretty much the only new product here. I do have like a mirror highlighter stick, but this is not like new. It's just new to me. So if you are interested, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can come back and see lots more content like this, and we'll just get started. So I straightened my hair. I blow dried it yesterday and it looks cute, but like, when you sleep and stuff, it gets a little crazier. And then I just decided today to put a flat iron to my hair, which I have not done in years, and I like it. It's different. It's definitely different from what I normally do. So we're going to start with a tried and true product. This is the Touch and Soul Glassy Skin Balm, and I love this. It's very hydrating. So in the winter months, which technically is not winter, but it is behaving like winter outside, my skin is dry. I say dehydrated. So I need that extra hydration because I do have oily skin. I have combo skin. But, sometimes the oils produce extra when your skin is dehydrated. So we want to make sure it's extra moisturized. And it's 12:30. So I've already done skincare and all that early this morning. So we need to add some of that back. I'm really excited to go to this brunch, but I'm also very nervous because I know, we all have different views of life, right? Some people call it like seasons of life and chapters and stages, but I am 37 years old and I have 3 kids. I've gone through, your young years where you kind of go out and party more, you work a lot because you're broke. This is the Canvas, the liquid one. We're going to use that in the T-zone where I get the most oily. But yeah, when I was younger, and then I got married when I was 21. So I was very young, my first marriage. And I didn't know anything about life, really. We were just crazy young when we got married, and we were trying to figure out who we were going to be as adults. And that was a whole journey. And I had my first kid, and then I got divorced. Because you start to realize that, we were just too young, And then I met my husband now, and then we had our kids. And I've been through all these stages where I've, had children, been in committed relationships, kind of been, through a divorce. So that kind of puts you in a downward spiral. And over the years, I've kind of done this thing where I've just isolated myself. A foundation that doesn't ever do me wrong is the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better foundation and skincare. And I have, what shade is this? Tan Neutral 42. In doing that, I also have the excuse that I don't drive. So, when I would feel down or depressed or anxious, I would decline invitations to go out places, to go to parties. And also I would use my kids as an excuse too, I'd be like, I can't get a babysitter without really even trying. And even though there were parts of me that was I needed to do that to kind of help myself from recovering from different things. Eventually, when you do that, people stop inviting you places. There's no shame. There's no blame to anybody in my past who's, where I was close with that we stopped doing things with. But, they stop inviting you places when you're always saying no, no, no. They stop inviting you and they move on with their lives because you give off the impression that you don't want to chill with them. I realized over the years that I kind of did that to myself. I isolated myself. And then it was very easy to just be like, well, my life's about work and about my kids. YouTube has been a big part of kind of helping me cope with being lonely. But also, my issue with hanging out with people too is that I get intense anxiety being around people. And especially if they want to hang out and do things in places that are busy, then that was very triggering for me. It made it very easy for me to just make excuses. I felt very overwhelmed having kid after kid. Like, as much as I love them and I wanted to have my kids, and like, it's not like, I didn't want my children or my family. It was a conscious decision me and my husband made. But as we kept adding to the family, more people in my day-to-day life in my house that I was sharing space with made me feel so overwhelmed with being with people that, adding an event with more people felt even more daunting or more difficult for me to adjust to. And, you realize that social anxiety is like a huge thing. And there's like a part of you that needs social interaction, but you have to kind of balance it out. And for me, a long time, it was like work and the kids, and I had pretty much enough social interaction between the two that I felt kind of fulfilled. And so I really didn't miss it. Now that I work from home, I've had a realization that I do kind of need people in my life. And that always pushing everybody away obviously has not been the most beneficial to my own well-being. But I know a lot of people from work, from school, from just living in the city my whole life. And there's always events. And I just never attend any of them. I'm making some kind of excuse to myself, not necessarily to anybody else, but to myself. But about a month ago, a girl I used to work with who has a foundation was throwing another event. This is like the second year she's done this Queen's Brunch. And it's for women, like empowerment and stuff like that. I think she has like a guest speaker and stuff. And I have a couple friends that like run nonprofits and stuff like that. They always have events. And I never attend them because, I don't know, I make up some reason in my head why I can't do these things. I think the last one I did intend on going on, and then I had COVID. So that really sucked. But I told myself this year that I'm gonna put myself out there more, meet more people, talk to more people, and create kind of my own little circle, because I'm 37 years old and I have a few good friends that I talk to regularly, that I see, kind of regularly, but I'd like my circle to be a little bit bigger. I'd also like to have people in my circle who want to go out and do some stuff, because the primary people in my circle right now have children that require a little bit more attention. And my kids are getting a little bit older, so I have a little bit more flexibility to like go out and like not have to bring my kids along or worry about who's babysitting, because like it's not as hard to find a babysitter for an 8 and 9 and 14-year-old, because they're a little bit more self-sufficient. It's just a matter of having somebody in the house. Now, I'm not saying I want to go out dancing and going clubbing and all that, because I think I'm beyond that. And I think that would be like too overwhelming for what I'm capable of participating in. I'm using my Givenchy powder. And I think that was the Pat McGrath concealer. That's not what I'm looking for. I just want like a girlfriend to go to the mall with, without kids, go out to lunch, and staying in the house is not going to help me find people. So I bought a ticket to this event and I'm going to go out. And I know from looking at the photos that some people I used to hang out with attended the one last year and are probably, based on how I see them sometimes in social media, are probably going to be there today, which will be kind of nice just to see like some familiar faces. It'll make it a little less intimidating. Let's go into the Huda Beauty Tantour. I have mine in the shade Cool Light. This one's kind of dark, so like the light is really good for me. It doesn't work for me in the summer. It tends to look like Not cute, but this time of the year works well. So I'm excited to like reconnect with people and maybe meet some other people that are a little bit more like-minded. And also just to get used to putting myself out there. I think a big part of why I don't like being out in like social settings has been because of I'm very sensitive to different things like loud noises, or I'm very picky when it comes to food. I have lots of issues with textures of foods and knowing where I'm going to be, like when I was younger, I would always like research a place before I would go. And even now, but like my husband tries to surprise me. I think a couple of years ago, he booked reservations at this restaurant, trying to be nice, trying to do something nice. And the day of, he finally tells me where we're going to go out to eat. And I pulled up the menu and I could see like it was very like gourmet-ish. And I don't do that stuff. Like there's just certain things I don't like caramelized onions or, stuff like that. And literally I told him, I was like, you need to cancel the reservations because I'm not going to eat at that place. Like I know myself and it's not gonna, I don't see it as being a bitch. I'm just seeing it as being honest because I rather just not go to a place than tell him and not go to the place than to force myself to go to a place that I don't like, because then the whole experience is not going to be fun for me. And I can kind of do a decent job like hiding it. Do you want me to fake it? Like, and nobody wants that, especially when you're with somebody like that you care about. You don't want to have to fake it all the time. That's very exhausting. And my husband wants me to actually enjoy the time that we have with each other. So he's gotten to the point where he's used to me. He knows I'm particular about things, and we just come up with a plan B. But sometimes when you're with other people who aren't like your fam, like you just get self-conscious about that kind of stuff. You're like, are they going to judge me? Are they going to think different of me? Especially being someone who doesn't drive. I used to get lots of comments all of the time like, oh my God, you don't drive? I could never. I need my freedom. I need my freedom. Do you feel trapped? And it's a lot of this like projecting. People don't realize how much they project their own insecurities, their own feelings, their own phobias to other people all of the time. Because I don't drive, that was always like, oh, I would this, I would that. And it's like, do you not realize that I'm not you? So it's like, I always have to like hold it in and bite my tongue, because I low-key just want to tell people like, I'm not you. I like being in my house. My problem is I wish somebody would come to my house and chill with me. Like, it's not that I don't want, like, I don't know. And also, here's another thing. I'm not afraid of public transportation. My fear of driving is me driving the vehicle, not being in a vehicle. So growing up in a city where I had access to buses, cabs, I know this is not politically correct, but around here, people call them gypsy cabs, those like livery service, cars. I'm very comfortable calling somebody to come get me and bring me to the mall or out to eat. I don't feel trapped, and I do like being in my house, and I like my own company. And when people get like that, it makes you not want to be chilling with them. But then it's like, at the same point in time, gets lonely when you don't chill with people. So it's kind of this like, it's just this weird feeling. You know what I mean? Everybody just wanting to have something to say about the way you choose to live your life. I'm just going to use the same brush for bronzer because I'm feeling lazy. And I don't think people that say that or do that are trying to be rude, but it is rude. It is rude. And I have this thing where like when people kind of insult me in a way, that I just kind of avoid them. But again, all this avoiding behavior can be very isolating. And sometimes you have to do uncomfortable things, which really sucks. Today, I'm going to do an uncomfortable thing for the greater good of myself. I don't know if any of you guys could relate to this, like, these feelings. It's like when you go out to drink too, and like maybe you don't feel well, maybe you're on antibiotics, maybe you have a history with drinking and you don't. If you went out drinking and you don't drink, and then everybody's like, "Oh, I don't trust somebody who doesn't drink. Why you not drinking? Have a little fun." It's like, dude, I know how to have a good time without having alcohol. Like, I understand that you need that, but like, why do you feel like you need to pressure me to be like you? Like, I don't understand that. And it's very annoying. It makes people not want to be around you. Like, I know that it's partly because people feel uncomfortable when they're the only ones drinking, but it's like, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. So why are you putting that on me? I got this highlighter stick from Merit. It's called the Day Glow Highlighting Balm, and I got the shade Citrine. I almost got Kava, but I have a feeling like I'm just going to like this gold a little bit more. Kava was a little more champagne, and I wanted something very natural. I like that. And I'm just going to focus it right here. I do have like my quirks about how people behave and stuff like that. So it made it very difficult for me. I make it difficult on myself too. Like, I'm being judgy on people for being judgy on me. It's like, well, you can't be tit for tat all the time. So I don't know. I'm hoping that like maybe I'll reconnect with some people that know me, familiar with me, or maybe I'll meet some people that I will, you know, click with and maybe become casual friends with, that we can actually like do things together or something like that. I would love that. So we will see. But worst comes to worst, I got out of the house and I did something for me because, as you know, when you're a parent, everything is about the kids. Everything is about taking them somewhere, doing something with them. We have plans for tomorrow. We're taking the kids. I have to take them back to the library to return a couple things, a video game that we borrowed and some books. And then we're going to go see the new Dungeons and Dragons movie. So my kids are very excited for that. Let's do brows. I usually do them last, but I don't know. I just feel like doing things different today. I'm going to use this Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brows, and I have black brown. So yeah, I don't know. Have you guys done stuff like that? I also joined a bunch of groups on Facebook, and I was just trying to like put myself out there to like meet new people. I've had like, working from home makes it really challenging because it's easy to just kind of like be in your own world and ignore everything else. But at the same point in time, like my coworkers for work, as nice as it is for us to be all different, it's annoying to me. Being the only brown person or the only person of color in a group, you feel it even when maybe people aren't saying stuff or anything like that. I also like at work, we had this recent meeting a couple weeks ago where my boss kind of went on this weird tangent. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He said some really inappropriate things during this meeting, and they were all cool with it. They were all cool with him saying inappropriate things. And I was the only one who kind of made it known, like, that was not cool. I don't think he should have been talking to us like that. Even if it wasn't directed to us, like his language was inappropriate. And they were all like, oh, it was just a rant. Oh, it was cool, blah, blah, blah. And then they want to get together. And I'm like, it makes it uncomfortable. I don't really want to chill with somebody like that. And like, there's this like peer pressure that if I don't go, like, I'm not part of the team. I'm not part of the inner circle. Or like, if I don't go, are they going to talk shit about me because I'm going to be the only one probably skipping out on it? And it's like, personally, I haven't had the situation where I've had to like go to HR and complain about somebody being inappropriate. But I've been in departments and in groups where that has happened. People will say it to my face about others and act like I don't low-key feel something inside on myself. But like, I've had people come up and be like, oh, they're playing the race card. And it's like, whether it's true or not, Like, why do you feel comfortable telling me that? And like, now this is in my head that like, if I complain about something, is it going to be whispers that I'm playing the race card, even if I'm not, even if higher management knows? Obviously, HR prohibits them from telling anybody anything. What happens behind closed doors for meetings like that? But like, that doesn't stop the rumors. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be the complaint that people are like, oh, she's playing the race card. Seem like very cool people. All the girls seem like cool people for the most part. But like, there was some stupid thing about dates, the way we write dates, right? So we do everything on tickets in my system because we're like, we fix schedules in the background. So somebody put in a ticket. It was like, can you, I don't know, I don't know the exact example, but say they were like, this doctor's going to be on vacation, August 7th, right? Close their clinic for August 7th. So we go in the background and close the schedule so that the schedulers who do auto search don't accidentally book those days. And the person who put in the request put in the date instead of like what you typically see on a calendar here in the States where it's like month, day, year. She put it in day, month, year. And then it was specified down in the description box. She spelled out the month and then put the date and everything. So it was clear, you know, if you went through the description, what date she was actually looking. Maybe she was asking for July 8th, but it looks like August 7th. You know what I'm saying? So we were chatting in the group and the girls was like, oh, it's so confusing. I hate when she does that, blah, 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 blah. And the other girls were like, yeah. And then one girl was like, oh, but you know, like in other countries, that's how they do it. You know, I think that's why she does that way. And then this one girl was like, well, welcome to America. That's what she writes in the chat with an exclamation. And I was just like, you're not that cool to me. Like, she like, after a minute of nobody responding to that, she writes, well, you know, it just makes it confusing for work. I don't care if people are from different. I was like, you read that after you typed it clearly, after you hit send. I don't think people are like, I don't think you should ever like cancel a person or people should be dead to you for one thing or another. We've all done stupid shit. I know for a fact I've said some stupid shit when I was young. Inappropriate things, you know, whatever, that I don't feel necessarily represents who I am today. So I'm not going to ever be like, you're cut out. I'm never going to chill with you. But it just definitely makes me think a little bit about if I really want to be like open with you like that, especially anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? My husband got me these Sonia G lotus brushes, which is so very nice of him. It was a crazy nice surprise. I did not expect that because they're crazy. I don't even buy them for myself. So it was crazy. But yeah. And also like these same group of girls we've talked about, like I try to bring up makeup in a casual way one day. And they were all acting like those kinds of girls that are like, oh, makeup? I never wear makeup. Even though then like later in the conversation, they're like, well, I wear makeup every day, but I wear like the same black eyeliner and mascara and the same basic makeup every single day. And it's like, you probably wear makeup more than I wear makeup. I just happen to go all out when I do wear makeup. But I could already feel like the judginess and like the implication that if you're into makeup that you're somehow like superficial. And so I was just like, yeah, this is not the circle for me. I thought today I would use my Pat McGrath Utopian Dream palette because I recommended this in the spring palette video, and it is springy, and I feel like it's kind of the perfect palette to wear today. So we're going to try this out. We will see. I don't know if I'm going to go out to that luncheon for work. I kind of am playing it cool like I'm going to go, but I also had already taken the day off from work for because the kids are on school vacation anyway. I kind of have like a built-in excuse of being like, oh, I forgot if I really want to like avoid going. But at the same time, if I want to go, I could probably, you know, make it happen. But it's like, am I kind of going back to that beginning where it's like I'm self-isolating because I'm not allowing myself to participate in certain things. And maybe, when I meet them in person, even though I've been working with them for a year and a half, maybe when I meet them in person, I will like them more, and that I'm judging kind of a book by its cover situation. Because the truth is, I haven't really got to know them because we've been all working from home since I started with them. And none of us live close to each other. I've never chilled with any of them. All right, we're going to try the soft definer with this darker shade here in the outer corner and see how that looks. So yeah, I don't know. I have to kind of think about how I want to go about stuff, but I am trying to open the door to talk and meet more people. I also feel like sometimes people say they want to make friends and then they really don't. They want a very specific kind of friend, and people are not so simple. We're more complex than that. You know what I mean? Like my bestie from my old job is an older woman who was in her 50s, who never had children, who had a very conservative mindset, very different from me. But for whatever reason, we completed each other at work. We were the perfect team. She doesn't live close to me and she only comes into the city for work. So I don't see her like I used to. And it wasn't so much that we had to be alike. We just had to respect each other. I also need to have that mentality about like meeting new people. It's like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the person that's like, yo, you're not the specific kind of friend that I want to have. And so therefore you can't be my friend because you're missing an opportunity on a person who might actually be the best fit for you. Because just because you have different points of views on things doesn't mean that you're not a good match. Sometimes opposites balance each other. Me and my husband are definitely that in a lot of ways, not all the ways. In ways that's important in a marriage, we have the same mentality, like politics and stuff like that. But we grew up very different. He grew up in a small bumpkin town. Like I grew up in the city. He's a white boy, went to Christian private school growing up, and I went to city public school, you know? But because we have these different backgrounds, we can kind of like those as tools in raising our children and having different perspectives of the world. But yeah, it's interesting to me that I'm kind of seeing myself in a phase of life or a stage of life or a season of life in which I am almost in a similar stage as my freaking 14-year-old daughter going to high school next year, where it's like you're trying to figure out who you are again. Because now that my kids are all kind of not needing me as much, right? And then also figuring out who your friends are going to be, your circle of friends, what are your hobbies, rediscovering yourself as a person, because now your whole life isn't about the kid or isn't about your job. It's about you. And for the first time, I'm like, the clothes I'm wearing, am I wearing it because they're a reflection of who I am? Or was I wearing them because they were appropriate to wear for work and they weren't distracting and I could kind of be invisible? Probably the latter. Now I need to figure out like, what is my style? Who the fuck am I? And I feel like that. And it's like, that's the stage my teenager is in, because she's trying to figure out who the hell she's going to be in high school, or who she thinks she's supposed to be in high school, and who are going to be her bestie friends, I think it's quite interesting to me that we're kind of in this overlapping stage of life. I want to use the multi-chrome in the palette, so I'm going to use this glitter glue from Alien Cosmetics just to make sure that I can get a nice multi-chrome effect on the lid. Yeah, I think that looks nice. It might be a little too dramatic. This is what happens when you do play with makeup. You like start off, you're like, this is gonna be a soft spring look. And then you're like, bitch, no, you got carried away. Yeah. But you know what? I like it. So, but you know what's the difference now? Now that I'm older, I know more about the kind of person that I am, the things that I'm particular about. I feel like I can advocate for myself and really figure out, like, let people know where I stand on things. I think back in the day when I was younger, I would go to social gatherings and nightclubs and places that probably were way too overstimulating for me and pretend to go with the flow for the sake of like chilling with people, and ended up kind of burning myself out and like not making myself very happy in doing that because I was young and I was just trying to like not, trying to fit in like most kids do. And now that I'm older, I can be like, yeah, I'm not down with going to the hookah bar. Like, that's not my vibe. Like, call me when you want to have a movie night in your house. You want to watch Star Wars? You want to watch Star Wars? I'll come over and we can watch Star Wars. And then I'm just going to take that basic little satin champagne shade in the inner corner. Before we do the mascara, let's put on a lippy. I picked this up recently. It's the Hourglass lipstick in the shade Dove. I had picked up a couple like when they first initially launched, and I like the formula so much. I was like, get a couple more shades. And I think this will bring out the peach in the eye. Well, I think that looks pretty. I also picked out Flora. Maybe I can mix them. It's like a darker mauve shade, maybe. I'm going to be eating, so I don't plan on wearing lipstick the whole time. I don't mind reapplying lipstick either. I know some people are like, oh, I need liner and this and that to make it last forever. Honestly, don't care about that. Let's try this mascara. I don't even know what you guys are going to think of this video. I feel like I've been kind of all over the place with my opinions. All right, so this is the Hella Thick mascara from Fenty Beauty, and it's supposed to be a volumizing The shade is called Cause I'm Black. This is what the component looks like. It's very, very cute. Now, as much as I love packaging like that because it looks really aesthetically pleasing, this is going to be annoying because it doesn't have a flat bottom. Not that it needs to, but to like stand in a thing. It is very cute and different, so that's definitely a thing. And then this is the wand, which kind of reminds me of the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. So I'm hoping I like it. It's a natural bristle wand, and I'm going to start with my lower lashes and then we'll do the top ones after. Now, I like a very doll-like effect. That's why I do my bottom lashes. I know some people don't put mascara on their bottom lashes. I feel like this definitely does that, and it did it very, very quickly. Very pigmented. Yeah, let's do the top. This is one eye without, one with, and I really like it. I found the brush to be very comfortable to like really get up there in the lash line there. So I kind of, that look like if I filled in my waterline. Very, very comfortable, very easy, very thick mascara, so it does go on volumizing, and I think it gives a little bit of length. It definitely gives a little lift for sure. My lashes on this side are not that naturally lifted, so you can see, and I don't use a lash curler typically, so and I didn't use one this time, so you can definitely see there's like a lift and a lot of volumizing in this. And then, like I said, it's very comfortable to get all the way up in that the waterline. All right, so this is both lashes done. I think it looks really, really good. It is thick. I like it. I like how I can get really up in my waterline and make it look super, super black. And the bottom lashes look exactly how I like. So far, so good. So this is the final look. I am going to go get dressed and finally get out of the house. I just want to say thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I know you could be watching any other video right now, but you're here and I appreciate that. So thank you so much for hanging out. Until next time, I love you guys. Bye.